Welcome everyone to the Dreadcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have done it. Episode 10 is here. Welcome to the Dreadcast. I'm your host and master of ceremonies for tonight, Dreadnought X. Here with my co-host and everyone's favorite karaoke star, Joviah. On tonight's episode, we roll out for another Battle Royale game, and it's good. We've had a ton of games we're playing lately, and discuss some very heartbreaking news for some employees, both near us and far away. Huge thank you to everyone who's been along with us on this ride. Episode 10 starts now.
Link, here come to town, come to save the Princess Zelda. Got it put away, now the children don't play, but they will when Link saves the day. Hallelujah! Now Link, fill up your hearts so you can shoot your sword with power. And when you're feeling all down, the fighting will come around, so you'll be brave and not this is a coward. Now Link has saved the day, but got it in his granite. So now Zelda is free, and now a hero shall be. Link, I think your name shall go down into history.
Are you doing good?
Yeah,
What are you watching over there?
right.
Yeah? Do you like video games?
It will follow me.
You love video games?
Yes,
What's your favorite video game?
very good.
What?
Good.
Booger game?
Yeah, very good.
Booger game?
Yeah, I
Do you like Mario?
Yeah, I love it though.
You love Mario?
I love it.
What about Paw Patrol game?
I love it.
You love it?
Yeah,
You love the Paw Patrol game?
yeah.
Well, we made it, man. Here we are, episode 10.
Right on.
In the bag.
Well, getting there.
So, what do we got going on these last week or two for games or for some news?
Well, this week was actually kind of busy. There were a lot of releases this week. Yeah, Metro Exodus, Anthem. I think the first day you can play was
Pre-order and
Friday.
stuff? Yeah.
I mean, like if you threw all of your money at
Right,
it,
right.
basically, you can play it.
If you bought the big edition, yeah.
The big edition plus, like Origin Premier Access.
Oh,
like,
shit, yeah.
I don't even know.
How many tiers are going on that game? Like, holy moly.
I don't know. They released a chart for it.
Oh, no way.
And-
It's that
and
complicated?
Yeah. They on their Twitter, they actually released like this graphic with a chart on when you can play it.
People are
and,
probably
like,
getting
what-
confused.
Yeah. Well, they got a bunch of flack for it because it was more confusing than like it's crazy.
Well,
man.
people are like,
It's
hey,
crazy.
I spent $10 more than the original game,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure if I fall into tier number 3 or just number 2. Do I get
Right.
it? Do I get it 3 days early or do I get it 5 days early? It's like, man, it's like when people are having
Right.
a hard time figuring out when they're going to get their game, when they can start playing, you got some issues. You got to simplify this stuff.
That's EA for you, though, man. That's EA. I don't know why they do it that way.
I thought it
but
was
they
like
do.
I thought it was like every game comes out on Tuesday, and then lately it's like if you pay a couple dollars more, you can play it the Friday before, right?
Yeah.
It's like why you gotta make everything
there's one
complicated?
exception. There's one traditional exception to that rule, and that's a new Monster Hunter game. When a new Monster Hunter comes out, at least in Japan, by law, it has to come out. I think on a Saturday. It's either a Saturday or a Friday.
Now, is that just for Monster Hunter or just most
Because-
games over there?
Mostly, it's Monster Hunter, specifically Monster Hunter, and it's because there's like it causes basically a nationwide sick out because everybody stays at home sick.
So
to play
like,
the
hey,
game.
let's just release. Can you please release it on a Saturday from now on so we have everybody
Right.
so we can have like
Right.
our workforce go to work, please.
Yes, we would like to be a productive country today.
Yeah, it's like when Call of Duty comes out here in the States or something. It's like, well,
Right.
all the 15 to 20-year-olds are not at school today or not at work today.
And some 40-year-olds.
Yeah.
Some 40-year-olds.
Sure enough, yeah, no doubt.
No, I kid you not. Like Monster Hunter, it has to come out on the weekends. I think there's a couple other games that are like that, like Pokemon.
That's crazy, man. That's legit.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, it's a pretty serious thing. They take it serious over there, much more seriously than we do. That's for sure.
Yep.
What else came out this? I feel like I'm missing. No, I feel like I'm missing a game that came out this week, but I can't.
Well, Apex was last week, so
Apex was last week. Speaking of, I saw you were playing a little bit of Apex. What are your thoughts?
I love it.
Yeah,
I've only been playing it on the PC lately. I haven't really been messing around with it too much on the PS4. Got it for both.
yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I've been playing Pathfinder, which is like the robot. He's like, he looks like that Chappie guy. I don't know if you ever seen that movie Chappie.
Yeah, I love that movie.
He looks just like him. He reminds me of that Short Circuit guy, Johnny Five.
Yeah, he is. He kind of talks like him too.
He does. Yeah, he's got the same motions. I bet you they stole that from that.
Probably, but I mean, they could have done worse.
Yeah,
Johnny
it's good.
Five was awesome.
It's I got Call of Duty 4. I played the blackout mode like maybe a handful of times, maybe 5 times. Fortnite, I could never really get into. It's like I played it here and there, but I don't know about this game. For some reason, this game is just the way it plays. The way it plays, it's just everything clicks. It's just it's smooth. It's just really good. So, just having a great time.
I'm thinking. I think that. Well, first off, I agree with you. I think it's a fantastic game. It's a lot of fun. I've enjoyed playing mini rounds with some of the guys.
Yep.
And there are some design considerations in that game that are obviously taken from multiple different games, battle royale games. But this one with the ping system, like I've seen the ping system used in Ring of Elysium. I've seen it used in PUBG gameplay. I've never actually played it myself. But the ping system that they use in Apex, I think really, really puts it apart from a lot of the other BR games.
Like, is it that's in other games too as well, or just not as in depth?
Well, yeah, it's not as in depth, right? So, like Ring of Elysium, you can be aiming at something, and you need to call like an enemy or a location out to your friends.
Yeah,
you can ping it with like I think it's Q. It just puts a little blip up on everybody's radar. It says, "Hey, here's what I'm looking at."
Yep.
But in Apex, there's meaning and context to your pings. So, I mean, you can actually communicate non-vocally that way.
Yeah, like
you can go a whole match.
It literally makes playing with random people, and like I don't know if my mic's not working, but I mean it's normally working. But yeah, when I'm playing that game and I'm like talking, nobody ever talks back when I'm playing with randos.
Yeah,
and the ping system, it's like they'd be like, "Hey, level 2 armor," and if they don't need it, they can ping it, and I'll know, hey, it's a level 2 armor that they don't need, and I can know exactly where it is.
Right.
I can know exactly what they're leaving for me, because once you ping an item, it literally tells me what item they're pinging.
Right.
And it makes playing with random people so much more smoother, because you can say, hey, here's an enemy over here, pinpoints where they are. You don't have to guess by someone saying, oh, there's a guy over there to the left or behind a rock. You get the exact position where they are, and yeah, it makes playing with randos so much better. Not to mention, like, playing with a squad, like, some of your buddies, it makes things so much easier then, but it makes the random aspect just so much easier as well.
Right. The ping system is beautiful, and the each of the different characters having their own unique powers and abilities, I think really sort of lends towards some of that squad cohesion, because even with randoms, because no matter how bad you are, and I'm terrible, right? No matter how bad you are, there's something that you can do for your team.
Yeah.
I usually play Gibraltar, and he's got that skill where he can throw down that dome shield.
Which one's that? Okay, that's the Maui look-like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The big Hawaiian kind of looking dude.
Just picture Maui from the movie Moana, and you got him. Perfect. Yeah.
He's in like huge flak armor.
Yeah.
And And that's the guy. And he can throw down that globe shield or the dome shield, and like nothing gets through that shield until it expires.
What about out?
It's really good.
Can you shoot out of it or not just...
No, you can't shoot out or in. So that's the balance.
What about walking?
You can walk. Yeah,
okay,
no problem.
So they can... I'm just wondering if you could throw it down and then revive, or that's not... No.
You can.
Okay, but
yeah,
they
you
can walk
can.
in, though. Okay.
Yeah, but in my experience, like the moment I throw that shield down is the moment the other team starts pushing, which is fine. Okay. I mean, but you have to sort of anticipate that.
Yeah,
it's like
kind of leaves them
throw down a
because
shield.
it leaves them no choice then, right? So because they can't get through it. Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah, but it's good. It's an awesome game, and the robot that you're playing, he can throw down those zip lines, and he can sort of zip around. It's awesome. He's very mobile.
I never use like well, not very often. I use the main big one that we can all use.
Yeah.
But his main skill is just scaring your teammates. And when they're not expecting it, I throw out my grapple like to a building or to like something that's very close to them. And every single time it's like, oh shit, what was that? And it's like it's my grapple slamming into a piece of door or wood right beside where they're standing, and it gets them every time. It's so awesome.
That's wrong, man.
Yeah, it's very good. That's what his special ability is, just to scare your teammates.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've had a ton of fun in Apex over the last week and a half. It's really good. And so this is the Battle Royale game we were talking about last episode.
Yeah, that was a rumor.
It just sort of came out of nowhere. So not only did it come out of nowhere, started as a complete rumor, it came out of nowhere, dropped like 3 or 4 days after the rumors really started spreading virally, and it's a damn good game,
and it's free,
Yeah, it's really good.
Yes, you have to download another launcher if you don't already have it, but
yeah, it's on Origin,
but it's worth it. It's very good.
It's on Origin.
It's the only game. It's the only game I have on Origin that's installed, but it's worth it.
I think I've got Battlefield 1 on there.
Oh, okay.
Maybe The Sims 4. I think I've got on there.
Yeah, I think I got some like old games. They used to have this thing where it was like a free game every month.
Yeah.
So I'd keep going back every month to see what their free games was. So I got this little tiny collection of like games that they didn't want that I have for free. So
do they not do that anymore?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. Like I kind of been stopped going back the last couple months. So, and I don't see any free ones now this month. So maybe it's because the Apex is out, but.
Well, that and the Premier Access. I think they.
Right. Maybe
I think they took yeah, I think they're doing kind of what Humble is doing, where they have their monthly subscription and they throw games at you if you subscribe. Which Humble is usually a pretty good deal.
For sure, yeah.
And I don't know about Origin. Like I just haven't kept up with that.
Yeah.
With that store. EA hasn't put anything else out that I wanted for a good long time.
Like it looks like I got like Need for Speed Most Wanted, some Medal of Honor game, Mass Effect 3, so a couple games.
Whatever happened to Medal of Honor? Are they still making new ones?
I don't know. They used to be going toe and toe with Call of Duty, and now I haven't heard from them in a while.
Yeah, they used to be right alongside Call of Duty. Like they would release within a week or two of each other sometimes.
Yeah, like other than like the original Battlefield 1942, Medal of Honor is what I remember playing on the PC back in the day, like even before I played like Call of Duty, so.
Yeah, that was the game. Yeah. That was the game. That and Call of Duty.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
Well, I guess Call of Duty won.
Yeah, because like you said, they were going head to head there for a while, and it seemed like those were the two like big, war shooters. But yeah, Call of Duty's still here, and Medal of Honor we haven't heard from.
So since we missed a week, I also played just to catch up with a little bit of last week. I played a little game called Destiny 2.
Yeah,
turning in my homework.
Have you fallen off that now, or are you still going on it, or at all?
I haven't really been back. I played it for a couple of days, and I enjoyed it. It's way better on the PC.
Right.
Like I'll never play another shooter on the PS4. I just can't. I mean, it's tough to say never, but I'm not going to play a shooter that requires finesse. or accuracy
Right.
on the PS4 again. I don't think.
Which should be every shooter. Like,
Which
you know
should
what I
be
mean?
every
Like,
shooter.
as long as you want to be good at it, it's like you should not want to play any shooters on a console. Like,
But you know, one of my main complaints, and I was talking about this a little bit. Destiny 2, like it always felt very slow to me.
mm-hmm.
I don't know if I ever told you, but I did some research on that. Like the big difference between the PS4 and the PC is that for consoles, Destiny 2 is locked at like a 54, 55 point of view, POV.
Mm-hmm.
And for PC, you can widen that out to like 90 or even, I think, upwards of 100, 110.
Right, and you told me that helped, right?
It helps. It helps big time because you're not moving any faster on the PC than you are on the console. The console is locked at that, and it makes you feel like you're moving a lot slower, whereas a wider point of view makes you feel like you're moving a lot faster. That actually went a long way to helping me deal with it, right?
Plus, you got past the slow part.
Once I got, well, I mean, even before that, though,
Yeah.
I mean, and I did some research into it because I actually Googled like, why do I feel so slow in Destiny? And that's what came up. Yeah, that's what came up.
Yeah.
So I widened out the field of view and then got past the slow part, and it sort of opens up after that, and it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. I haven't been back. I think I'm level. I want to say like 22, 23.
Okay, yeah. The last I saw that you were at was 19, so that's pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah, something weird happened around the mid, like right around 20. It's like it felt like I started leveling faster and faster.
Okay.
It was I don't know why.
It's possible because like 20 was the old level cap. So normally by the time you hit 18, 19, you beat the game on the main campaign. So did that happen for you or?
No.
Okay.
No, not even close. I don't feel like it's very close.
Okay, because when it first came out, when I played on console, I got to around like the 18, 19 mark with my first tune, and then I beat the game, and that's kind of where I roughly went then with my second and third tune.
I mean, maybe I am right at beating the game,
What are you doing now in the story? Do you remember?
We had to find the Vanguard squad, so we found Cade. And then we found the other girl. I don't even know their names. the other girl. And that was it, right? Yeah. And then they said, "Oh, he's going to blow up the sun," which, that sucks.
Yeah.
So now we have to do something about it, and I'm not exactly sure what I had to do.
Okay.
It's like basically go on to the next planet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of that. Just let's go to the next planet stuff.
Yeah. The story, I was enjoying just like running around, seeing the sights, having fun shooting things, and that was, maybe getting some interesting gear here and there.
Mm-hmm.
I actually rather enjoyed some of the public events that were happening.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. And then that's when I realized that there were some rewards that you could get if you did them enough.
Yeah, and
kind of played those a little bit.
The cool thing is like every planet's got 2 or 3 public events that show up. And the cool thing about every single public event is there's a way to trigger the heroic version of it.
Mm-hmm.
So like in the EDZ, the first one where it's kind of like on Earth and you're near that church, they come down and there's like a pile of stuff in the middle, and there's like all these things around it. And if you shoot this one machine every time, if you do it 3 times, you know how it switches positions? You destroy the people, then it kind of moves to a different spot, and then it comes down again. Well, if you destroy this one machine that's sitting there, you do it all 3 times. It does the heroic version, and then this big guy comes down. You have to protect this big pile of glimmer, and then you get like a heroic cache to open.
Oh, nice!
So every single event that you find in every world, every planet has like a heroic version as long as you trigger it the right way. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think I've seen that happen maybe once or twice with some of them. Now that you say it, because I did notice. I'm like, I remember running up on one and it was just starting off, and it didn't play out the same way as the last time.
Okay.
Like there was a harder enemy.
And it's like you just show up, and as long as you're in that area or you shoot somebody in it, it'll say join public event, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, if it gets triggered to the heroic event, it'll come up and it'll say join heroic event, and then you can just continue on. And
Yeah, it was pretty well done in my opinion. Like you could either take part in it or not.
Yeah, true.
One thing I did not like is that in the EDZ, when I was still sort of getting used to all the controls and everything, there was and this has happened a couple of times. There are bosses that are like they require like power level 600 or something.
Right. See, and those must have been just added in this last couple patches or something. I think when that Forsaken came out, because they never used to be around. Like
I can tell you, as a new player to Destiny, that was the biggest pain in the ass. That's got to be the worst design decision I've seen in a long time for a lot of games, because you cannot tell a brand new player, you can't be hyping your game and trying to sell it to new players like me, who then buy it and then run up on something they have no possibility to kill whatsoever, one shots you and then resets whatever it is you're doing. And you cannot put that thing in the path of me going from point A to point B, because that's the way my quest line is.
Yeah.
For me, like as a new player getting into the game, it was very frustrating when my quests would take me from point A to point B, right? You do your quest here at point A, and then the next quest is at point B.
Yep.
And the only way to get there is to run right next to one of these Forsaken. And it also doesn't help that they look exactly like the other enemies that I'd been fighting that whole time.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and these things can one-shot you.
Oh yeah, especially the ones that say you need power level 600.
Yeah,
Those
but there's one.
toasty.
There's one in particular at the EDZ. It's one of those globe things, right? And he sits right there on a bridge that you would have to go over.
Yep.
To get to the next area, and he just sits there and he kills everybody that he sees.
Yeah, it's really rough.
And the only thing I could figure to do was just come back in like half an hour, and that's kind of what I did. But it took me out of the flow of the quest that I was working on. It took me out of I didn't want to go and do public quest right then.
Yeah, you wanted to keep going on your quest, right?
And I didn't have it to go to at that point. Like I was a brand new player. I was like level 5, 6, maybe. I mean, that's just if you're gonna put something like that in your game, put them just off the beaten path. Don't put them right on the beaten path that every single new player has to go through to get to where they're going, especially when you're doing your best to recover from a dismal launch.
Yeah, that guy on the bridge is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, he's not there all the time.
So, so when you're walking around the EDZ in the very beginning part, and the church is there, there's a like every now and then you'll have this like high value target, or like a captain shows up, or a globe shows up, and they kind of roam around the building, and usually that globe there is just your average globe that scales to your level, right? Right. But
not a big deal.
Right. But I was on my level 30, which, power level maybe like 200, 250 or something, nothing big. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to do just a normal quest that required me to cross that same bridge. And I seen this globe there, and time after time, friggin' one-shots me. Yep. I try and creep down, I try and hide, I try and get on my bike. Can't, man. This guy he focuses on you, he hits anywhere close to you, and it's like, you're toast.
Yep. Because he does area he does area damage.
And I was banging my head against that for a good while until I managed to scoop by him somehow. But that sucks, man.
It does.
You're totally right. Like, put it to the side. Don't that's even worse in that spot because it's on a friggin' bridge. You know what I mean? Like,
it's bad in that spot, but it's also every one of these guys that I've run up against has an insane aggro range.
Yeah.
Insane. Like, if you can see them, they will shoot at you, and they have pretty good aim.
Yeah, and that orb has really good aim.
Yeah. So, I did notice that. That was the one hiccup that I had. Probably, I think the game might have crashed maybe once, which I wasn't too bothered about. It wasn't that big of a deal. The loading screens, there were a couple of times they took like forever.
I can't stand that game's loading screens. I like playing that game. I like the gameplay. I love the loot. But man, just sitting in orbit, it's like, oh my god, give me like Pong to play or something.
Right.
This thing is taking forever. I've always hated that. I always every time I used to not play it, my buddy used to play it. I'd be like, how can you play this? You're like sitting in orbit for like 10 minutes. It feels like forever when you're just watching that loading screen.
Yeah, it does. It does feel like forever.
It's brutal.
It is nice from a. It is nice to sort of keep the atmosphere of the game.
Yeah,
to keep you sort of invested in the game, but
it doesn't even look like you're traveling anywhere. It's like you're just in one spot hovering.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's it's not like it's showing you like weaving in and out of like space or asteroids. It's just your ship is just there hovering in one spot, and then all of a sudden it takes a nosedive. It's like you were getting lunch in your ship before you like went down to like the planet. Like it's.
You've got to eat though before you go into combat. I mean, they're eating their future MREs, I guess, in the ship.
I love that game, but there's a couple things about it too that just pisses me off.
I remember once there was I was going through. I was at the portion. I was going from one planet to another, one body from another, and you go through your little warp scenario and everything, and then you're. This is the thing that kills me is that you have multiple loading screens too. Mm-hmm. You have the loading screen for traveling between worlds. You have a loading screen, like I guess it's like sort of a progression, like you're getting closer to the planet, so now you're in the atmosphere and everything. Mm-hmm. There was one. I just had to laugh out loud. I was at that point where you're doing the sort of high altitude, getting ready to come in from orbit.
Yeah,
and the planet looked like the textures on the planet looked like a bunch of squares. Like I'm like, really, you can't even. Do you need a loading screen for the loading screens?
Yeah.
At this point, so that's nitpicking aside. Pretty much the only issues that I had with the game, but that Forsaken thing, that's kind of a big deal for me.
Yeah, that's
in terms
annoying.
of progression and just level design. Like, don't put a Forsaken right there where a bunch of newbies could be. I mean, you know what? Take that Forsaken out of the game. Take that one Forsaken out of the game.
Take them all out
and
don't have them show up until maybe your max level, and then you can find them, and then you can run into them around the world.
Well, but that would be another design consideration, right? Like, because I'm as a newbie, I'm still grouped up with people that are way higher level than I am.
Right, but everything scales, so it's no big deal then, right?
I don't know. Does everything scale?
Oh, for sure. Because you go back to the EDZ when you're like max level, and things there could still kill you if you just stood in front of them for a couple seconds. Like,
okay,
Yeah.
I don't know if I noticed much scaling or not.
Yeah.
In terms of good about the game, the exotic weapons, I lucked out and did get an exotic weapon.
Ooh, which one?
I can't remember what it was. But it was fucking awesome.
They are so varied.
It was awesome.
They are so varied and have like some fun perks on them that it makes the loot drops in that game so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. But the one that I got, I used it even when I was finding much more powerful gear after that. And it kind of made me sad because it's like, I have found this exotic now. I hope I find a newer, better, shinier version of this same one later because the power level on this one kind of,
starting to suck, right? Well, the good thing is, once you've acquired any legendary in the game, any exotic, once you get to max level or any level for that example, you can go into your inventory, not your inventory, but your collection tab of your menu, and you go to armor or weapons, and you can remake any of those ones that you've already collected.
Oh, yeah?
So now that exotic will go in there, and now let's say when you hit max level, if that was your favorite weapon leveling up, then you go in there and you make a max level version of it.
It was a really cool weapon.
It'll require like a couple mats, a couple glimmer, a couple like legendary shards, and then booyah, then you have like a max level version of your favorite gun. So that's pretty cool.
Okay, cool.
Now you could also upgrade them. You could also upgrade them as you go to, and like you can feed lower level or things that are the same level into it. To keep upgrading it, but I find it's better just to kind of remake it at the end. And
I may go back into the game a little later and play with that a little bit. I didn't. I did see the collections tab. I did not realize I could do anything with it.
Yeah, same with
it felt sort of like an achievements menu kind of.
Right. So,
oh, you found this new gear.
Yeah, it kind of just shows you them all, but you just have to hover over them and click a button, and it'll show you kind of the mats you need to make them. And same with armor as well. If you find armor along the way, you can always go back and remake them, which is kind of cool. Yeah,
I've found some pretty good armor too. So, yeah. I feel like I've had some pretty good luck with the drops that I've gotten. I don't know if maybe that has to do with some of the recent rebalancing they did with Forsaken and stuff, but yeah, like if you were saying that you got like level 30 and you were power level like 200, 230, I'm easily at 200, 230 at level 20.
Yeah, I could be mistaken. I can't remember, to be honest with you.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, numbers are numbers, right? I mean,
yeah. Like I said, I got to level 20 back when it first came out, so it's been a while.
Yeah. It's funny because earlier today I was like, I should play something. And I was in sort of like one of those moods where it's like, I could play this, but I don't really feel like it. Like, I didn't really think of opening up Destiny now. Yeah. Now I might do it after we're done recording and go back into that collections menu and see what I can do.
The thing you do the most in that game is shoot people, and the shooting in that game feels super great.
It does feel good.
It's so satisfying when you pop that headshot and you see the soul leave their body, and the weapons they hit, and they sound like they have impact, and it's good. You know, it feels really good.
It does feel pretty good.
Other shitty things aside, like I totally agree with you on those points, but it's just the actual gameplay when you're playing, it feels really solid.
Yeah, once you're running around, once you're popping the bad guys, it does feel pretty good. I'll give it that. I did enjoy it, and I played it more than my homework needed me to. So that's always always a good sign.
Above and beyond,
yeah.
So speaking of homework, kind of a loose homework, I kind of went back and retried Warframe, which we talked about.
Cool.
Because you said you said it was expanded, you said it opened up. I thought, I'll give it another try.
I haven't played any of that stuff, so I want to hear.
Right, so like of course I never had it downloaded, so I had to go and re-download it. I thought I already had it on there, but yeah, it's I must have been like already a mission or two in, and you have your own ship already, and you. I don't know if maybe I'm not into I think I'm still doing the opening missions. I'm not at the kind of like the quote unquote open world section yet.
Okay.
Because like I'm picking missions from a list, which I kind of thought I was doing before, but just getting down to the missions and just running around feels pretty good. Like it's, you got a couple different weapons. You have like a special ability. You have like a sword, and you're running around popping guys off. You're like, running and jumping and sliding everywhere like a robot ninja. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Loot's dropping everywhere. There's like tons of chests around to loot. And
have you got any other suits than the one that you start off with?
No, I didn't. So like I said, I'm probably about 4 or 5 missions in. They send me to a mission. I kind of get a piece from my ship. I think I'm still putting my ship back together. So
yeah, you are.
So,
you are.
So yeah, they send me out for like a piece of my ship. I come back, I install it. I have access to like a couple different like vendors and stuff now that are in my ship that I can do stuff with. But so I'm still pretty early on, but it's good. It's a lot better than I remember. And I was gonna like keep playing it and give it another try because it was actually feeling pretty good. So,
are you playing it on PC or PS4?
No, PS4.
Oh, of course. Because my save is on PC. That's why I was asking.
No, I do generally play like. If it's on PS4, I normally play it on there first. The only reason I switch to computer is if it's exclusive to PC, or if you guys are playing it, Like I probably would have bought Rocket League on here or GTA on here instead of the console if I knew you guys were playing it first, right?
Well, don't feel bad about buying GTA on multiple consoles because I think I own it all the way back for 360. Like I've got it on the PS4, I've got it on PC, I've got it on Xbox 360. It's like my other Skyrim.
It's like Skyrim,
where I own that everywhere too.
Everybody's got 8 copies of it on different consoles. Yeah. I know my
it goes on sale all the time. So
my PS3 upstairs has a copy of GTA on it as well, and then Skyrim, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it goes on sale now so often that it's like I mean, why not?
Yeah.
everything that you have it on, even though you're only going to play it every now and then.
Yeah, for sure.
See, what else did I play this week? I know we're going through a bunch of games. We're catching up on 2 weeks here.
Yeah, there's some good games there.
I played a game on stream. It was a one stream thing called Warhammer 40K Mechanicus. So this game is it's like a Warhammer 40K version of XCOM as the Adeptus Mechanicus. So like you're basically like machine cyborg men.
Okay, and is that the name of the race?
See,
40K
races without there's definitely races there. Okay. Without getting too deep in the 40K lore, the Adeptus Mechanicus are basically they're the ones that run all of the machines. They do all of the manufacturing, all of the research, all of the computer stuff for the Empire of Man in the year 40,000 AD, where there is only war, basically. Okay. So they're actually not part of, if I remember my lore right, they're actually not part of the Empire of Man. They have an agreement with the Empire of Man because, and this is a big sticking point for the lore, the Adeptus Mechanicus worship something called the Omnissiah. The Omnissiah being like a machine god.
Okay.
Whereas the Empire of Man worship the Emperor. And anybody who worships anything other than the Empire, other than the Emperor, is a heretic and should be burned. Period. That's how the 40K lore goes. But since the Mechanicus live on Mars and they are technically human, even though they strive not to be, because these are people that will literally like happily chop off an arm and replace it with like robot, some sort of machine tentacle thing. Like they don't care. So with that being said, essentially the Mechanicus at the beginning of the game, the story goes that they picked up on like a strange radio signal from like beyond, and they go to investigate it, and it turns out it's I can't remember their race. It's basically machine skeletons. Is what they are. It gets crazy. Long and short of it is, it's an XCOM type game where you are controlling these machine men,
Necrons,
and the Necrons.
Okay,
and it's hard. This game is freaking hard. It's like XCOM in a tactical sense, but you have no cover system. And there is no random generator for whether you hit or not. So if something shoots at you, it will hit.
Oh, okay. No missing at all?
There's no missing at all. And you are very weak at the beginning of the game. And you're exploring through this sort of Necron planet, and they're all sort of waking up around you. It's very interesting because it does it sort of Darkest Dungeon style, where you go like from one room to the next to the next.
Okay. And
in that room may be a fight, or it may be like a sort of a random sort of random event happening, like, oh, you find two buttons, which one do you press? That kind of thing. And it was really good. I was really enjoying it. And as you fight these Necrons, as they're waking up, the longer you spend in these dungeons, they sort of wake up more and more of them.
Okay.
And so the dungeon gets more and more dangerous. As you fight these things, you find loot, you get experience, and you're leveling up your guys. You're gaining sort of their version of money so that you can spend it on manufacturing new things. And it got to the point where it was just really hard, and I was still at the beginning of the game. Maybe I suck as a tactician. Maybe there were some battles I was supposed to lose, but man, it was hard. I think the fact that there's no cover system and no ability to miss for either you or the enemies, that kind of, I mean, I want to play the game. I want to be good at it, but I want that chance to miss.
Yeah, like without giving you that chance to miss, and also without giving you the cover system, that makes it extremely unforgiving.
Oh, it was extremely unforgiving.
I mean, if you're playing in the beginning of the game and you no matter what things are hitting you, it's like no matter what, you're going to take damage, and it's if you can't even cover behind stuff like that's rough.
Right. And I found myself while we probably played it for maybe about 4 hours or so. And I was enjoying it, but I found myself more and more missing that XCOM dramatic, I'm standing right next to you, I could punch you in the face, but I missed my pistol shot at you kind of moment, where like you miss that clutch shot and somebody dies. This isn't that. This is more like, no, the Necron just ran up to me and punched me in the face, and he does 9 points of damage, but my maximum health pool is only 4. So he could have killed me twice with change.
Yeah, that's weird.
It was rough. It was rough. If you survive long enough, I have a feeling you get a lot more powerful, but you only have like 2 guys to start with.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to earn the ability to bring in new guys as you play the game. But starting out with just those 2 guys, it was really hard. It was really, really difficult. I have a feeling it's a great game. I enjoyed my time in it, but it was hardcore hard.
Like, I wonder if that needs balancing, like a patch or something. It's only just came out, right?
Yeah, it came out maybe about a month ago, and I'd been keeping my eye on it, and I've been watching the reviews, and everybody says, it's a really good game. It's very well reviewed. Everybody really seems to enjoy the tactics that it brings to the table, but
right.
Without being able to hide behind cover and lean out like a regular person and take a shot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I missed that.
Do they all does everybody else say the same type of thing, that it's that's a little rough, like for that way, or? Yeah.
A lot of the reviews do mention that it was difficult. So I was prepared for it to be difficult, but
maybe not
I
that
wasn't
difficult,
prepared for it to be what it was.
Yeah.
We literally came up. You can fail these missions and it doesn't kill the game. Like you basically just go back and it's like mission failed. Right?
Okay, then you have to redo them, or can you move on?
You cannot redo them.
Okay.
You have to move on. And you get your pick of missions to take,
mm-hmm.
and you get an idea of what types of enemies are going to be there. But if you've never seen those enemies before, this is exactly what happened to me. I didn't know what type of enemy I was going to be facing.
Mm-hmm.
This thing, we were so unprepared for this thing. We didn't even see it on the map. Then the map changes, like an elevator comes up out of nowhere, and the map expands, and this guy hops off of it. He doesn't just hop off of it. He like shoots one of my guys in the face. He's dead. And then he warps, like he teleports to the other side of the map, where my other guy is cowering in a corner because he knew maybe something was coming.
Yeah.
I had a feeling, so I was moving him away. He's in a corner now. And so this thing goes, he shoots my guy, he teleports, and then he goes on Overwatch. So my other guy had no chance either. So like he just died instantly in the next round. And I'm like, oh my God. Like I couldn't move him because he was just going to get blasted. Because remember, you can't miss. And then he just got blasted the next round. So it was basically doom.
That sounds rough. That sounds rough.
Yeah. It was rough. It was rough. And that was the first time we'd seen that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was the last room of the dungeon. And it's like mission failed. And I'm like, damn. And the killer was that mission, had I been able to beat it, which I'm sure there's a way, it was my first opportunity to get another character to be able to play with.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was upset about that.
And so, like, how many rooms and stuff did you have to go through to get to that last part?
3 or 4, but there weren't any fights. There weren't any fights getting up to it. So it was just like random event, and then this fight. So all my guys were fresh, but relatively, that's only 2 guys that were fresh. They were ready to go. And it just, I don't know. That bummed me out.
Yeah, it sounds killer.
It was rough.
Like in a bad way.
I mean, I was enjoying it, and I still enjoyed like the next mission after that, but
Right.
I knew like not to take another mission with that enemy type.
Right, but I mean, if you come across it all, like, does that like seriously hamper though your enjoyment when you get to those missions where you just can't beat because it seems like they're overpowered?
Yes and no. I think the way that it was presented, and the way it kind of went down, and the difficulty I'd had up to that point just to get there, because at this point I'd played for probably maybe 3 hours or so.
Right.
I was already starting to miss like the XCOM 2 type things that I've mentioned. And then this guy comes in, and at that point I realized, okay, I've been playing this on stream for like 3 hours, and I'm going to lose this. And it was my first failure of a dungeon, I think. And I'm like, I'm going to lose the one thing that I really, really needed to progress forward, which was, having a third guy on the field. I at that point, I just sort of felt a little deflated. I'm not going to say that I didn't. It hampered my enjoyment of the game. I don't think that's the case. I felt a little deflated. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm definitely going to play it a little bit more just to see if I can't get a little bit deeper. But I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get that much deeper without that third guy. I think that's seriously going to be a hindrance.
Now, obviously, I'm assuming you're going to have more missions pop up that are going to give you the same opportunity eventually, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, and I think I've already got some that are ready to go.
Okay.
Because you can pick which missions you want to go on from
right,
the list,
and you can tell what the rewards will be.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but the problem is that the missions are starting to sort of get a little bit more and more difficult.
Right.
Like I've got 2 guys, and I can call in like 3 or 4 servitors, which are they're trash. You literally, they exist to be thrown at the enemy,
right,
as diversions. But when I've got 2 main guys that can actually do damage, and there's 7 of them on the play field, it gets rough.
That takes some like definite planning out to like pick your shots and not get destroyed.
Yeah. And I'm a huge fan of 40K and and the Mechanicus and everything that they do. I don't know. I love their lore. I love everything about them. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, man. I don't know. That was a tough game. That was a tough game.
Yeah, it's like it's rough when the hardness of the game and it's getting more and more challenging, but they're not rewarding you with either enough units or even like more complicated systems like a cover system or mist system.
Right.
It's like you're pumping up the hardness and the challenge and the difficulty, but yet you're not giving you any way to deal with it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you're just hoping that you either get lucky or you outplan it enough that you survive.
And to add insult to injury, when you fail a mission like that, not only do you not get the rewards, like you don't get the experience that you would need to level up. Mm-hmm. You don't get the what they call Blackstone, which is basically what you would use to build new gear.
Right.
You don't get any of that, and you don't get the other rewards like the intangibles, like the new character or a new gun or whatever. You don't get any of that. And in fact, it actually costs you it costs you Blackstone to heal your guys up after that.
And so you're not even getting any to replace like the stuff you're using.
Yeah. You're in the hole at that point.
Now what about XP per kill? Are you getting any per kill or it's all at the end?
Experience after you get a successful mission.
Run, yeah. So you're not even getting that experience while you're killing to at least help things along a little bit.
Right.
Oh, that sounds rough.
Yeah. So it there is a serious failure. There you really do get there is a serious cost to failure in that game. Like it'll set you back for the rest of your gameplay is what I was thinking. at the time because I'm like, well, now I can't get that. I can't get that character. So now that's probably going to set me behind the power curve for the rest of the game. Because the next time that reward came up, I won't have 4 guys. I'll have 3. If assuming I could get that mission done.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I would seriously have been behind the power curve.
If they're thinking that you should have had that third one by now.
Well, yeah.
It's like the game keeps progressing, but yet you're not progressing. So it's like,
yeah. And there is a timer on the game, kind of like the timer in XCOM 2 for the Avatar project. There's something similar to this. Like the whole gimmick is that the planet is a tomb planet for the Necrons, and they are waking up because you have arrived at this planet.
So yeah, I only have so much time to do things.
Yeah. You only have so much time before you've got to get the hell out because the Necrons will squash you. Yeah. So I'm thinking, yeah, not having that additional character was really going to screw up that. So I was probably just going to restart the game on my own time and just, try to step through it again using what I had learned just to get a better feel for the game.
Is there difficulty options or?
No. Nope.
Nothing.
Well, I think there was I was playing it on normal, and there's of course a hard mode. So that was normal.
No baby mode.
I don't think there's an easy. No, I don't think it was made to be easy. I think it was made specifically
to be a difficult game.
Yeah, I think it's specifically designed to be a difficult game.
Jesus, don't put it on hard mode then. Holy shit.
Not anytime soon.
It's like, jeez. No killer system, no miss, and those guys are like one-shotting you in the face. Can imagine how hard mode would be. Right. That's crazy, man. Sometimes it takes the fun away of games when they're just too hard. It's like I like a bit of a challenge, but I don't want to be like slamming my face against the same level for like a few hours with no progression.
Well, I have a feeling that my inexperience with the game probably led me down a path that would have been unwinnable anyways. Because I didn't know what the skill trees all had. I didn't know what would be very useful. I didn't have any experience with any of the enemies, so I didn't know like what guns would be best.
Right.
Or for certain situations, what upgrades for my guys. Like, should I lop off that arm and put on a tentacle? Or should I lop off my legs and put little hover legs on?
I don't know, but as a new player coming into that game and just playing it on normal, you shouldn't get penalized that hard though for not knowing. I mean, they've got to expect that people are picking up this game for the first time and not knowing all the stuff like you don't know. And
oh sure, no, I agree.
Right, and they're making those people come into the game and getting that far behind and having that much issues. It's like, because there's people who, like you said, like have the same issues as you. It's like, so it's like it's rough for people to be coming in there and getting hammered that hard with just
I completely agree. I think that there's a very specific niche audience that they're going for with this game,
right?
But and I think I'm right there on the line, right? I like a good bit of difficulty in my strategy games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it to be like I'm banging my face up against a wall,
Yeah, you just don't want to lose that fun of it. Like, I'm okay with it. So it's good to have a challenge. I mean, but it's like, it can't be so hard where you're just getting frustrated, right? To the point of not wanting to play it.
Right. And 40K is one of those worlds, like the 40K and the Mechanicus in particular is one of those worlds, one of those universes where you want those cool tools. You want those cool toys to play with. So like the developers should be giving, not throwing them at me, but they should be giving me a way out. Give me a way to get that cool toy, even though I lost that mission, right? Like, I don't know how they would go about doing that,
right?
But I think that should be a consideration.
Yeah.
Maybe
something.
maybe not as a reward for failure, but because of my failure, I get another Mechanicus and give it to me in the way saying like, since you showed poor judgment, we're going to send, Brother Marnius along with you.
Right. Like, hey,
something like that.
Here's a little bit of help to help you in your future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shame on you for not being able to please the Omnissiah.
Yeah.
Give it to me like that. And make me feel bad. Make me understand that there's a reason that this guy is along. And make me feel like shit because I lost that mission. Maybe I should have won it. But give me some story progression here as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Just a thought.
Yeah, well, hopefully you can hopefully you try it again and then, kind of let us know if things get any easier or what. Or if you're going to start it over then, or?
I probably will start it over just to make sure I haven't done something egregiously wrong with it. And
do a few more missions and see how things work out the second time around.
Yeah, get a little more time under my belt and see how I feel about it. Right now, I just think it's a very difficult game, and it looks beautiful. The game looks great, and it plays really good too. But it's just there's a couple of nitpicky things that I missed from the XCOM tactics.
Right.
Yeah. What else you got?
Well, I think the only thing else I played new this week was I tried out that My Time at Portia. I don't know how you say it.
I played that for a little while too.
Yeah, I think I seen you play it, and that's kind of what made me jump in. I was like, I could go with like a chill crafting, chill, type of game.
It's super chill.
Exactly.
It's super ultra chill.
I never got into Stardew Valley or nothing kind of along those lines or any kind of farming sim, but yeah, I thought I'd give this one a try, and it's kind of cool. You get your own house there. You have to kind of like rebuild your house that your dad or your whatever left you, and then you get to start making some equipment out back, and a little bit of farming this, and a little bit of like going around collecting some stuff. And there's like some dungeons that you can kind of go down. And the first dungeon I went down was just a bunch of like, I guess there was no enemies in this one because it was just the first one. Yeah,
that's the one that I tried.
Yeah, so it's just a bunch of rocks, and you're kind of just digging your way down and finding relics. And then I hit my biggest pet peeve in the world, which is inventory space. And yeah, so I'm in the middle of this dungeon, and I run out of space. I'm like, I see all these other relics around because you can put on your goggles and scan, right, and it shows you where the relics are.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, sweet, there's a whole bunch here, and I'm like, I have all this stuff, and it's like I don't want to get rid of it. I hate dropping stuff. So I'm like, I'll go all the way back, and I made a couple like wooden chests to throw a bunch of stuff in, and then it was kind of getting late, and I was like, and you can't save it unless you go sleep, so
right.
I was like, I'll go save it, and that's kind of all I played. It's only been the first maybe 45 minutes, maybe an hour or so, just kind of messing around, and it's kind of cool.
It's an interesting game. It's a fun game. I played it on stream for a little while, and I had worked earlier in the day, and I guess I was a little bit drowsy that afternoon. But in the music, this is right after Apex hit. The music, like, it literally started to put me to sleep on stream.
The music is very calming and chill, and it's I could totally, if I were to play that tonight, I could totally see myself drifting away. Yeah,
I was having a great time with it, and then I got to the point where it's like, oh, you need to make this one thing, but like the bridge. I was working on the bridge.
Right, same here.
And in order to make the bridge, you had to make one crafting machine where you could actually make the bridge. But in order to make the parts to build that crafting machine, you had to build another crafting. Like the crafting goes pretty deep in this.
Yeah, and I like the way they handle it. Like I like the fact that you open up the handbook, and it shows you, okay, to make the bridge you need this part and this part, and to make this part you need to have the grinder, and to make the grinder you need this part, and it really lays out nicely.
Yeah,
it gets complicated, but it lets you know what you need and how to make it, and then I really enjoyed that part.
Yeah, that was great. But I was working on that, and I felt like I was just I starting to stare off into space, and I'm like, oh, I need to wake up a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, next time I stream it, I'm totally turning that music off
and turning on your own music.
Yeah, we're going to turn on our own music because
sure.
I cannot do that again.
I get that way sometimes too. Not the last time I played WoW, but I think the last time I played a couple minutes of WoW on stream, I played some Hearthstone first, and I turned on WoW, and I was just because it's rough too when you play a certain game that you've been playing forever, and you kind of know it back and forth.
Right.
So like in WoW, it's like I've been playing this character for hours. I know everything about him. I know where the buttons are. So I'm like running around doing quests, and it's like, and then all of a sudden, like I must like doze off, and then when I wake up, my character's like running on water and like running into a wall or something.
I've
like,
totally done that,
and then it's like I wake up long enough to like turn myself around, head in the other direction, and then it's like the next thing I know, I'm like totally going somewhere else. It's like, okay, it's time to turn this off. It's getting, it's.
I've totally done that. And I didn't want that happening on stream. So
I know. And you know what's funny? Because I was streaming, but I kind of only noticed it the last few minutes is when I stopped the stream, and then I got off kind of like right as soon as I kind of noticed that after I was doing that a couple times. I went back and watched the stream, and of course I've got my cam on, and I look like an idiot because I'm there on my cam, and my eyes are just kind of going. My head slowly starts going, and I'm like, oh my god, no wonder I've got no viewers. It was funny,
no.
But...
Oh no.
Can you imagine?
Disaster.
Can you imagine if there's people watching you and they're like, this fucking guy's snoring. What the fuck is this guy doing, man? Oh, what a fail. So funny.
The that empty dungeon that you went into, I really had a lot of respect for the game when I realized that is not just like it's an empty room, and the first time you go into it, you're pretty underwhelmed. It's like, oh, this is what you give me.
Yep.
Until you realize you can dig, like that whole place is just one big quarry. It's huge when you start digging down because you can dig way down.
Is there a bottom to it? Like, is there an end to it, or can you just keep on digging? Or
I don't know. I didn't try going down that deep because I was scared I wouldn't be able to get back out. Although there's a button for that.
Yeah, the good thing is you can warp back to the entrance, which is kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about really getting out of your hole. Like this is one of those things where like the music is starting to get to you at this point.
Right.
Like you're just digging a hole.
Yeah, and like the constant doing the same thing over and over again, plus the music, it's like if you were out doing quests and handing stuff in and crafting stuff, a little more involved, things might be not so bad. But when you're just in a cave and you're like, hitting the button to dig and collect, and it's like, it's just that monotony just starts rolling in. And it's like, oh, it's just a pathway to sleep.
But it's really good. It's a really good game. I really enjoyed the time that I spent in it so far.
Yeah, I want to go back. It was pretty cool. I even found a couch down in that cave, which is kind of cool.
Oh, you found a couch? I found like a fan for my house.
I really enjoy that. You're just digging down in a dungeon, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, look at this cool orange couch I just found.
Yes, it's just buried in.
It was buried in this rock here. It's like awesome.
Yeah, it's like a whole post-apocalyptic thing, though.
You would never know it though if you didn't look off in the distance and seen like the kind of like the ruins and stuff there. You would never see it because you look around and everything's like green and grass and lush, and especially the area we started, right? So
right. So I did get on after my stream. I got on like the other day, and my save was like Saturday night to Sunday morning. So I wake up on Sunday morning, and I look in my journal and I say, oh, okay, I need this tool to build this thing, so I need to go into town and get that. So I was going into town, and everybody is walking in the same direction. Like they're talking to me, and I'm hanging out with them, but they're all walking up this mountain. They're going to church.
Well, they're going to the meeting, right?
No, it's not that. It's not the evening fireside meeting. It's
something else.
They actually have a church service.
Okay.
Because I noticed everybody in the town was walking in this one direction. They were going up this path up like a very steep hill, almost kind of like a mountain. And so I followed them, And they're going to the chapel of light. And I walk in and there's a guy up there at the pedestal preaching. So they actually have a church service and he's talking about, we won't let the bombs fall. It's up to all of us to keep another apocalypse from happening. So there's little lore story bits that you can get if you just pay enough attention.
So now if you don't go up there, or if I don't attend that fireside meeting, do they kind of push you to do that, or can you just totally miss them?
I'm sure you can just totally miss them. I mean, I haven't gotten to the time, like I think it's a Tuesday night or something.
Yeah.
Where the fireside meeting happens. So I haven't gotten that far, but like the music started getting to me again. I really have to get some music.
Yeah.
But when I went up to the chapel, I was very surprised to see that they actually had like it was an actual church session. That's not the fireside meeting. It's a totally different event.
Yeah, because the mayor told me about the meeting, and I was like, okay, but then I ended up getting off before that date came up.
Yeah,
so.
I haven't made it to the first week yet.
And it's like a big social aspect of the game too. Like you get relationships with people, and you can form friendships and go on dates, and you can get like a wife or something to come to your house, and they give you bonus benefits for if you're like friends with people. And
yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's very, very Stardew Valley-ish in that way.
Right, with the relationship stuff and
yep, and the farming and some of the crafting.
Right.
So it's just maybe I would say maybe a little bit more in depth on the crafting side.
Right.
Stardew Valley.
Stardew is mostly like farming and cultivating than crafting per se. Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, I liked it. What about you? You still got a couple more games you were playing this week.
There's
so many new games this week.
I know. Well, 2 weeks, right?
The last couple weeks, yeah, it's lots.
Well, I played Astroneer. No surprises there. It was actually really, really good. Really enjoyed it. Pretty much got to a point where I could, if I really wanted to, I could build anything in the game, which is kind of the idea of the game. So I think I've seen it. I've done it. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I loved the exploration in Astroneer.
Yep.
The way they did it. The one thing that I never really touched were any of the alien artifacts. But after I felt like I had finished what I needed to see in Astroneer, I was watching some people on some Twitch streams, and some of the alien artifact stuff is really, really cool. Like digging down to the core of these planets and finding what's down there. I don't want to say what's down there for anybody that's actually playing Astroneer, but make a point. Get to the core of the planet, and you will be very excited to find what you find there. It's really, really cool.
That's cool.
Oh yeah. The devs really pulled out all the stops for that stuff. But yeah, you can find these alien sort of shrines, I guess, around the world, and you can power them up, and then they power other things which you don't see on the surface unless you look for them. And it's pretty cool. I don't know if there's a story to that aspect of the game. There's certainly no story anywhere else. It's basically just
you're there
on a planet
doing stuff.
Yeah, digging and building tractors and hauling stuff around and doing research.
I got 2 questions.
Sure.
First question: all those pylons you're putting down, are you putting those down yourself, or every couple of feet the game puts it down for you?
No, I put those down myself. You have to put down the tethers so that you can stay connected to something that's feeding you oxygen.
Okay, so if you were to just keep on walking, and then what would happen if you don't put them down?
You die.
Oh, you just die?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you would die, and then you would have to end up doing a corpse run.
Okay, so I see all these these ropes everywhere following you, and all these pylons. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
Think of those pylons, that rope, kind of like guide ropes for the people that live like on the South Pole.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming they were, some type of finding your way back or something, right? Like,
actually both. It helps you find your way back, and it feeds you oxygen.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's with the big hole of inventory? What's with this big giant hole full of
the best
material?
Way to do it.
It's like, hey, I have all this. See, that's what I'm talking about. Inventory in games. Come on, people. It's
well, so you can. how's best to explain? So in Astroneer, everything is affected by the physics of the world, right? So if you try to put your little blobs of elements down on the ground, they just roll away.
Right.
So I just dug a little hole and started filling it up with things.
I know. It's like I'm watching you stream. You've got this like little hole dug, and it's like piles upon piles of materials. They're just like, it's like, oh, I need this one, and you dig down trying to find the one material you need out of this big pile of junk you have. It's like
I'm digging through it like a kid in their toy box looking for something on the bottom.
Yeah, it's like
things are flying out of the way.
Yeah, it's like a big landfill. Yeah.
Watch any Astroneer stream and you'll see everybody doing the same thing.
That's crazy.
I did end up building sort of an inventory system after that, but still, it's like, you never have enough inventory in that game.
I so hate games and inventories.
I really liked. I mean, besides the inventory woes that I had, because you can never build one big enough. I really liked how everything was sort of like Legos in that game. Like you can literally snap just parts and pieces together and just make whatever you needed to do.
That's cool.
It was awesome. Yeah. Yeah, because I ended up with that tractor with like 3 or 4 wagons behind it.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, you were just piling stuff in them.
Yeah. Yeah. You can just, if you're going to go out and gather a particular material, you can, I had like the little inventory things that I would just pop onto them.
Yeah.
So that I could hold more. Or if I was going out for one of the bigger research, I don't know, potatoes, then, you just take the wagon out so you can just pop this big old potato onto it when you find it. So I don't know what they are. Potatoes, avocados. I don't know. Something. I don't know. I guess we get research points from them.
Yeah. That tractor looks pretty cool.
The tractor was awesome. You have to be careful with the tractor though, because it'll fall into a hole real quick. Like it goes super fast, a lot faster than it looks.
Yeah.
It feels a lot faster, and you don't see a hole sometimes until you're like basically in the hole. So yeah, I've fallen into a number of holes where I had to get creative to get out.
Can you tip it back over if it falls over?
Yeah, you can tip it back over. Tipping it back over is not the problem though. Sometimes you'll fall into a hole and there's no ramp back up. And at that point you start running out of power and then eventually oxygen. So you can't stay in that hole. You got to get back out. And it's very easy to get lost on the world. Like there's no map. There's directions. Like you can get a compass up, but you can't, you can get lost very easily. There are beacons that you can make in the game where you can see the beacon on the horizon, but if you go far enough, because the world is actually spherical,
it makes it difficult to see them.
Yeah, eventually you will go far enough away to where the beacon is not visible because the horizon is it's below the horizon.
It doesn't shoot up in the air, nothing. It's just kind of a certain height.
Right.
That's it. Yeah,
it's a certain height, and that's it. But yeah, overall, Astroneer, totally awesome game. I really enjoyed that one. Cool. And the only other game that I've played is BattleTech, and that one I'm going to be sticking with for a while because that game is awesome. That is the XCOM experience I had been looking for with Mechanicus, I think.
Yes, and this game does definitely have misses.
Oh, it definitely has misses. It's got critical hits. It takes things to the nth degree in terms of, customizing your mechs, customizing the weapons that are on the mechs, customizing your pilots that drive the mechs. You can mix and match whichever mech and the pilot you think best would be best for them on that particular mission at that particular time.
Right.
And none of this is really optional. Like you have to do this because your battlefield conditions may require you to vent heat faster or slower, depending. And so you might need to forego a weapon that was really useful in the last mission because you need more heat sinks, because overheating is the thing. You have to have heat management on these. I mean, really, 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 really well done. The graphics are not phenomenal, Definitely a little bit above serviceable. Very, very well done.
It didn't look too bad.
No, it didn't look. It didn't look too bad at all. I mean, it could. I know that there's. I know that there's a modicum of random mission generation.
Right.
So, and that's another thing. You can pick which missions you want to go on. You can hire new pilots, just like soldiers in XCOM.
Mm-hmm.
It's very XCOM-y, but it can be very complex. So, but I'm loving it so far. I'm gonna keep streaming that one, I think, for a while.
Yeah, it looked like you're having quite a bit of fun there when I was watching you earlier.
I mean, what's not to love about massive mechs with missile launchers in their torsos? What's not to love?
I don't know. Not much. I used to love Armored Core back in the day. It was one of my favorite games for like the PS2.
Mm-hmm. I saw that picture of the that controller that you sent the picture of in Discord. That's the controller that I remember. I wanted that thing so bad.
Right, same here. That's the Steel Battalion controller.
Oh man, that thing, that was awesome.
I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure if I pre-ordered and then just decided against it, or went to pre-order and then found out it was too much money and just didn't pre-order. I can't remember, but I mean, I do remember really wanting it. And then
it was at least $200 if I remember right.
Oh, for sure.
US dollars, like $250.
Right, that was like what, 10 years ago at least. Like,
yeah, and I was at a very different place in my life at that point.
Yeah.
Like, I did not have the expendable income.
Yeah.
So I never could buy it. I always wanted it. And in fact, my GameStop had a brand new one in the box for like a couple months, I remember. And I just sat there wanting it so bad. And I'm like, I'm not going to put it on my credit card. I'm not going to, Yeah, I wanted it. But
yeah, people need to Google the Steel Battalion controller, or go to Joviah's Discord and check out this picture, because you want to talk about like a racing wheel and pedals. This is like a pilot, like a mech pilot's wet dream. It's got its own eject button. It's got like 3 pedals. It's got like levers, and like it's insane.
You could probably find some YouTube videos on it as well. People playing with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Guaranteed. But yeah, it's that was the controller to rule all controllers back in the day.
Yeah, it looks pretty insane.
Yeah.
It's like I could imagine now if you had that controller hooked up, and you can imagine if that thing was in VR. And you were standing up at like a stand-up desk, and you had this controller, or sitting down, I guess, because the pedals, but having the visor on, like having your VR on, and then playing this game.
That would be the dream.
Using the controller,
that's the dream right there.
That would be insane. That would be crazy.
That's the dream.
So
the only problem with a controller like that in VR is that you can't see the buttons that you're reaching for. So you
have to have good knowledge of
Yeah.
You almost have to play it for a while first without the VR, and then be like comfortable with it, and then.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, but once you got proficient with it, I could totally imagine VR.
That'd be
or
cool.
if they could somehow deal with VR taking, like, I don't know, more of an augmented reality approach.
Well, even that, or maybe when you look down inside the VR, it kind of shows you like a mock-up of the controller, like a digital version of it on screen.
Yeah.
So when you look down, you can kind of see at least where the buttons are.
Yeah.
So something like that. Anyways, it would probably be pretty cool.
It would be very cool. Yeah, so that's my gameplay for the last 2 weeks. It's been a busy 2 weeks, man. I've gone through a couple of games. In fact, I've gotten chastised for it too on my streams. Like, when are you going to find a game you're going to play? And it's like,
hey,
when I find it, you will know.
You are considered a variety streamer for a reason. You like variety. You come to Joviah's channel to see different games, and like you when you find a game that you enjoy, you play it for a few sessions. I mean,
that's right.
The spice of life is variety.
That is very true, sir.
So,
it is very true.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with that. I don't mind that.
And I'm behind on my list of games that I'd like to play. I mean, I know a couple games have come out. I haven't played any of them. So,
like, I can watch all the YouTube videos in the world, but it's like honestly, when I see like you or Breakfast or anybody else in particular just playing a game that's new, it makes me want to try it more than just watching like some random person on YouTube. So,
Well, yeah, I mean that makes sense though because you know us, so it's
Right.
it's if you know us and you know our tastes, so if we look like we're having fun with a game, then yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
It's almost like a personal recommendation.
yep. So I definitely enjoy when you guys are playing something new because it kind of gives me some new stuff to try as well. So
Yeah. Well, you never would have played my time at Porsche without.
no,
I've seen it.
exactly. So, and then I kind of enjoyed that game. So
Yeah. Well, if you need sleeping pills, that's one. Just I think you can actually buy the soundtrack for that game.
oh.
Probably.
Is that
I don't know.
Is that in the easy listening section of the
It's
Sam the
gotta
Record
be.
Man?
It's gotta be in the lullaby section. Holy crap! It will put you to sleep. I'm definitely gonna have to try next time I play it. I just
Yeah, for sure.
can't spend any time in it.
All right, let's get on to the news. What news we got here in the past couple weeks?
Well, I mean, the big one is Activision now.
The layoffs, yeah.
Yeah, 800 employees gone. Evidently in a record-setting profit year as well, which is I've got like a momentary mute button where I can like if I'm going to cough or something.
Yeah.
I was about to cough, and so I hit the button, but right next to it, I had loaded up that sound for the Friday Night Shit Show.
I was looking for that on my Stream Deck like a couple days ago because like I've got the button on my microphone here, but I wanted one on the Stream Deck where I can just hit, and I've got one that does my mic while I'm streaming,
Right.
but I want one that just mutes my mic. Period. Like just when I'm doing anything. Is yours set up like that, or is yours like muting it in Discord?
Yeah. No, it muted it it muted it in OBS for the stream.
Okay. So what about like now?
You can do a keyboard. We're not recording. You'll want to edit this out, but you can go into Discord, your settings, and
Right.
you can find
A mute button.
voice. You can assign a keyboard command for muting voice or what is it? Deafen? Mute and deafen is what you can do.
Okay.
So I've got a button for deafen, and it's on like F17 or something.
Okay.
I
So
think.
then you just keep on that in Stream Deck.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
hotkey,
Exactly. Huh?
As in hotkey, or
Yeah, as a hotkey, as a system hotkey in Stream Deck. So you go and assign that button to your Stream Deck first,
right?
and then because F17 is not a real keyboard key press you can do, basically.
Right.
And then you just use that as your F17 key when you are teaching Discord what button you want it to use.
Okay.
So that's how I did it.
Okay.
And so it'll toggle. So
Still want it to be able to open a folder. Still can't figure that out.
yeah. No, you don't get that.
I don't know.
Maybe you can launch batch file or something. I think somebody had mentioned that to you before.
I don't know. I had it set up before. It was like I push one button and it like does 19 things. Like tweets out and starts up my OBS and switches scenes and doing all this, but it's like, and it like plays a song and then waits like a few seconds and then opens up this scene, but it's like I always felt like it was like doing something wrong, so I like took it all apart and I just have it all set up manually. So I think I'm too
my
paranoid
setup,
it's not gonna work.
my startup macro is crazy, man. It's like it's got like 20 or 30 actions in it. It's nuts. Yeah. All right, let's start back with the Activision thing, man. you might want to start that part from the top. I apologize for that
It's
errant
all right.
key press.
I'm sure I'll edit around it. All right, so news: Activision laid off 800 people.
800 people in a record year for profits, which is nuts. How do you explain that to your investors? Like, what are your investors supposed to think when you tell them, "Hey, we've had a record-setting year, but oh, by the way, we've laid off 800 people because we think we can." I guess because they think they can make more money. Oh, and we lost Bungie.
Yeah, well, it's like the investors are probably thinking, hey, well, if we want a record-setting year next year, then we're gonna have to cut some salaries here because 800
Yeah.
people worth of salary is probably gonna put us in the plus range. So
Well, I know that it's kicked off a couple of different discussions. One being, the discrepancy between, the salary that these 800 people were making versus the salary that the executives were making,
right,
which is a big one. And then, on top of that, there's some discussions brewing about potentially unionizing in this industry, which I don't think we've got a union yet. Although I'm surprised we don't with the way the EA treats their folks. They're notoriously bad.
yeah,
And they have been for years and years. It's just the way they are. And I saw another article saying that Activision had come down and had directed Blizzard to start developing more games. Like their focus should be to put out more games, which at first didn't make any sense to me because I'm like, wait, Blizzard's put out a bunch of games. And then I thought about it and I'm like, you know what? They really don't put out a lot of games. I mean, think about it. The last game that they came out with was Overwatch.
it's a couple years old, right?
Yeah, it's when was Overwatch? When did that hit? Like 2016, 2017, 2015?
It's definitely a couple years ago.
Yeah, but they haven't done anything since.
Like for full games, yeah, it's like there's been expansions for games and stuff, but yeah, when it comes to like actual new games, like
they haven't come out with anything new.
yeah, they have those like 4, 5, 6 franchises they have under their belt, and they kind of work on improving those. They're not the type of company that's like pumping out brand new IPs all the time, right?
Well, I think Activision wants them to be.
Well, Activision can fuck off and stop messing with my Blizzard.
I don't think you're gonna get much luck with that.
Like it's like, man, they came out with just Heroes of the Storm, and now it's like they're cutting back on that already. So,
yep.
Like
I think
the esports are gone from there now, and that's pretty much what that game is right now. So,
yeah, I'm wondering if that's just going to be abandoned.
It seems weird because like that game is, specifically made to kind of like be Blizzard's version of Dota or League of Legends, which is big on esports.
Yeah, but now they've got Overwatch.
Yeah, I know, but like that's there's people who play shooters and there's people who play MOBAs, right? So it's like it kind of hits a different niche. So It's like, but when you're cutting all the esports off of it, it's nobody wants to probably just go in there and play against bots, or the esports is what people probably go to that game for. So
right,
yeah, it's just weird, and just the announcing that you're doing record sales, record results in 2018 on the same exact day that you're laying off 800 people. I mean, I understand you have like an earnings call you have to deal with, but like seriously, how do you think those people feel hearing that, oh, we've had a record year the same day they're getting laid off? I mean, like, way to throw salt in these people's wounds.
Yeah, it's pretty insulting to the employees. Or ex-employees now.
Can you imagine like me or you getting fired and be like, hey, we've had a really bad year. We've lost a lot of money. We're looking to downsize. Okay, so be it. But if you were pulled into the office and they were like, okay, hey, Joviah, we're letting you go. We've made a lot of money this year and we just, we don't need you around. Yeah. It's like we've had record sales this year, thank you very much, but we're going to let you go.
Yeah, thanks for making my quarterly bonus everything it could be.
Yeah, that's horrible.
It really is terrible. It really is terrible. I mean, and these are folks that did pretty much everything. Like it ranged the gambit from developers to back office staff. I mean, human resources folks were laid off, and all around the world too. Not just at any particular studio. Like we hear about studios closing all the time, but this is worldwide culling, basically.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was. It's nuts. It's nuts. I mean, it does. I think you're right. I mean, it does just come across as a cash grab, like just another way to increase profits.
Yeah.
Go in front of the investors and say, hey, we can basically guarantee you another really good year.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a lot of people's jobs to like. That, you know what I mean? That's a big layoff to be doing that though. Just to like, I understand it's money and like, you know, if that was the case, but like, man, those 800 people could have like helped you get another game out and got it like,
easily,
and got your money back that way instead of just laying them off, and that's insane.
Yeah, but now Activision wants to step up the pace on getting new games out, which was part of that discussion with Blizzard. I need to find a reference on that, but I think Activision's focus is putting out games in general,
right?
And just basically flooding the market, which kind of sucks because you could have used those 800 people to do that. But I would prefer that they not go the road of EA in the 90s, when EA would just basically recycle half their assets from one game, call it something else, slap a sticker on it, and call it done.
Yeah, it's like Blizzard already like takes like certain characters from one game, put it in another, like, you know, Warcraft and characters and Diablo characters going into Heroes of the Storm, and like all your Hearthstone cards are like based on like WoW things and stuff like that.
Right.
So they're already kind of doing that to a little bit of a point, but yeah, it's just have them slap out all these new games. It's like, I'd rather them just take their time and get out individual games that are like different and new, and not pumping out new games just because you're trying to get, you know, to appease Activision.
Right. Yeah. Come up with an IP that's useful and then sell it.
Exactly.
Don't just
rush through it.
Yeah.
It's crazy too. Like what happened? Like what, last week, right? Last Thursday or something, or last Wednesday, or
what's that?
Layoff, the big layoff.
Well, yeah, this happened on Tuesday. I think it was either Monday or Tuesday of last week.
So then last Friday, that same week, a friend of mine, my brother-in-law, he went to work, and they had this thing happen to them like a month ago where they were told, oh, you know, there might be some layoffs here. And people are like, okay, well, does that include people who just started here or people that have been here for a while? No answers were given. It was kind of all over the news here. And that was kind of the last I heard of it. And then last Friday, he went to work, and they're like, hey, we're, you know, your last day is this coming Monday. We want you to show up for your shift. And so he went in for like a whole week, and they had him just do nothing. He spent his whole shift in the lunchroom. They didn't want him cleaning. They didn't want him doing anything.
What?
He was just in the lunchroom. They were like watching stuff on their phones and just hanging out and just doing whatever. And yeah, and they end up letting like about 840 people go.
But they just kept him from working?
Yeah, it's like they didn't even... I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know if this whole place is closing. If they're closing all their shops around Canada.
Wow.
And they're not going to produce any more stuff. So, you know, why have the people work, right? But it's like, yeah, like people have been there for 25, 30 years, and people who just walked in off the street, like this guy's been there for just a few months, and these people were all just like... And the people that have been there for 25 years, like no severance packages, no nothing. Like, it's
wow.
It's literally like, hey, doors are closing and you guys are done. And,
wow.
And it just so happens it's like literally around 800 people. Like, it's crazy. It just happened to the Blizzard thing with 800 people, and now all of a sudden there's like 800 people here.
Happens to your friend, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow, that is crazy.
So,
I mean, I've heard of things like that happening. Like, I've even seen stories of, you know, shops closing, even here in the local area, where like the employees weren't even informed. They were just like, they showed up for work one day and the doors are locked, the lights are off, there's a sign on the door saying thank you for your service, and we're closed, and that's it. That was it. That's the notice that they got.
That's
like,
crazy.
can you imagine like showing up to your office and just being locked out because now the whole thing is folded? Like, I don't... that would be a surreal experience, I think.
Yeah, and then showing up like that and being blindsided and not having any warning, man,
Yeah.
that would be such a shock. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And can you imagine going into work after 25 years of being at the same place and then having that happen?
No, I can't.
That's crazy.
I really can't imagine that, and I hope I never have to actually experience it myself. Holy mackerel!
Yeah, that's insane. What else we got here for news? GameStop.
Yeah, I ran across this little article, and it was just a blurb. So GameStop is changing their refund policy to where, like, previously you could pre-order a game, and if you decided you didn't want that game, you could get your money back, like, refunded on your card or however you paid for it.
So you can just be like, hey, I don't want to pre-order this game anymore. Here's my money back, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I decided I didn't want, that game, so and they would just give you your money back.
Right.
Now they're just issuing in-store credit.
But even though you didn't get the product?
Even though you didn't get the product, so they're refunding you with in-store credit so that you can get another product is what they're playing at, right? They want to lock you into having spent that money in GameStop.
So no matter what, if you pre-order, you're stuck either getting that game or something else from that store.
Yeah. So supposedly, if you complain hard enough, the games, the local GameStop stores have the leeway of, actually issuing a refund. But I mean, come on. Well, the first problem I have with this is that I learned a long time ago to stop pre-ordering games. Just stop it.
But we still
because there's no reason to do it now.
But we still
there used to be a reason.
We still do.
Do you?
Whether it's trying to get early access or,
I still do. That's the carrot on a stick now. But
yeah.
I mean,
they're obviously
incentivizing
used to
us. Serve a purpose. When everything was physical, the purpose of pre-ordering was to make sure you got your day one copy.
Correct. They didn't run it. It's be like, I don't want to show up at the store. Maybe I'm working. Maybe I'm at school. If I show up at 4:00 in the day, hey, all the copies are going to be gone, right?
Right.
So let me slap my money down, pre-order it, and that way I know I'm guaranteed my copy day one.
Right. Right.
So why bother pre-ordering digital then?
Well, that's the argument. Like,
right.
why?
What would entice
when you
people?
Have
right? Unlimited
copies, which that gets me on to the whole. There are no such things as limited edition copies of digital items.
Correct.
Even though the marketing guys will tell you that there is not. But why pre-order a game that's digital? Just for the sake of pre-ordering it, right? I'm not talking about like the early access. I'm not talking about, beta access or anything like that. But why, if you're not getting any of that, why would you pre-order a game through a digital store? Like Steam or something. Because there's plenty of games that you can pre-order on Steam that you're not going to get early.
Like I was going to say, I've never pre-ordered a game on computer, only on console. But I have pre-ordered. You know what? That's true. I've never pre-ordered a game on computer, only on console. Because even on WoW, I pre-ordered the games and I would go just pick them up like at nighttime, like when they were physical copies and they had CDs to install.
Right.
And now you just get the pre-patch and then it goes live that night. So it's like,
right.
But now the 1 year they had, hey, pre-order this expansion, prepay for it, and you get Diablo 3 for free. So that's how come I have Diablo 3 for free on PC. Like I never bought it. So,
but you got something out of that deal though. Like, so I'm talking about, okay, you're going to get like the Civilization 6. They just had an expansion come out, right? Gathering Storm, I think.
Yep.
I think you were able to pre-order that expansion. Now, I'm just trying to come up with an example, right?
Right.
Like, what would you have gotten out of pre-ordering that expansion for $40 or whatever it cost? I mean, that's a $40 expansion. It better be worth it for one.
Yeah. Now, was there anything attached to that? Were you able to get it?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know because I don't keep up with a whole lot of Civilization 6 news.
That's the only reason I could think of on, like anywhere. It's getting it early, or like obviously if I was looking forward to playing it that much, being able to like have it downloaded on my system ready to go a couple days early, so that the second it drops goes live,
Yeah.
I can play it.
The preloads.
Right. So instead of me having like, this, Red Dead's coming out, and it's like I wanted to play it the very night of, so I pre-ordered it. Not
Yeah.
because of any bonuses, like nothing else really enticed me to pre-order it, except for the fact that A, I knew I wanted it anyways, and B, if I pre-ordered it, then it's all pre-downloaded and ready to go. So when it goes live, hey, I can play it right away.
Right.
So, I mean,
I think I've been burned by pre-orders quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Fallout 76, I'm looking at you. Where, it's not like I even didn't know what Fallout 76 was going to be.
Right.
Hell, I stood there at the Bethesda booth, the Bethesda booth at TwitchCon while they were doing a live stream of Fallout 76 gameplay. I mean, I watched them play it. I didn't have a chance to play it myself. And that actually alone was what got me to buy the game, because I was watching it. These folks were obviously having a good time. They had picked some random people, or at least I say with
somewhat random. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, they were, they were there,
mm-hmm.
and they were regular folks, and they were playing the game, not developers, and they were having a good time. So that to me said, hey, I want to play that. Come to find out, I didn't want to play that game. It wasn't what was advertised.
Nobody did.
Yeah, and I don't think it was, but that's a whole long story. Fallout 76 came with some early access stuff. You could play the beta, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you pre-ordered it.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I didn't really get anything out of that game that I wouldn't have gotten if I didn't just buy it.
Right.
On the day of. But had I waited, I would have seen the reviews that had come out from that. I would have seen the canvas bag fiasco, probably. And I probably would have saved myself $60.
Right. And that's the big plus side for people's arguments. Hey, don't pre-order. Give it like a day first, or just, like not even a day first, but just you could still pick it up day one, but like at least wait for the reviews, because like everybody's got their review copies a day or two before. So don't pre-order it until at least you've had a chance to check out some reviews and see what people think of it, because if other people are saying it's crap, why are you going to get it? You know what I mean? Like, give yourself a chance to be informed before you go and make that decision.
Right. Yeah, I'm a big proponent of trying to read reviews, but not actually watching video reviews is the way I prefer to
yeah, exactly.
Consume and multiple video reviews, and not even necessarily from like the big ones like GameSpot and IGN and some of the rest of them. Like I will go and try to find like a random person on YouTube give me his, but yeah, I don't know. The pre-order thing, I was surprised when I saw that, because I'm like, oh yeah, there are still physical copies of games out there. I haven't bought a physical game in a long time.
Oh, crazy as that is.
But you know what? I miss those like midnight releases. Have you ever been to one of those?
What's your favorite memory from a midnight release?
Grand Theft Auto 4. Standing there with my wife. It was cold, and it was raining, and I had pre-ordered the it was like the special, like it came in like the lockbox case, yeah,
or awesome.
Yeah. So I had pre-ordered that, and it was at our the Best Buy right down the street.
Yeah.
So we all lined up, and all of us were there, and I think it was kind of neat because it's like a community thing. You can turn to the person next to you never would have said anything to, and talk to them about this game and what they're looking forward to playing, and that kind of. You're all gamers there. You're all there for the same reason.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's the one that I remember. Actually, I bought 2 copies of that. I bought one for me and I bought a second legendary copy or whatever that was for my best friend who eventually became my best man at my wedding.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to give him that because it was launching like right before Christmas, and that was what I was going to give him.
That's a good wedding gift.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he was my best man, but yeah.
Well, so the groom usually gives the best man and the
yeah. Well, I gave him something else for that. This was just a regular Christmas present.
I know, just
I think that might have been the Christmas I actually proposed to my wife. It was a long time ago. But yeah, it was that was a good time. And the fact that, my wife, then girlfriend at the time, was actually with me at a midnight for a video game, which she would never touch herself.
Right.
That's when you know, like, this one.
Yeah, like I have been to a couple midnight pre-order or like pre-sales. The GTA was one of them. I don't know if it was midnight here or if it was like 6 a.m. or something. Like it was an early morning one. I can't remember. But anyways, I ended up getting that one early because I remember they had a security guard here at the EB Games.
Oh yeah.
For like the lineup of people, it's like, oh, it's GTA. It might get rowdy.
There
only been like 10 people there. It wasn't a huge deal, but
we're all riffraff that play that game.
But yeah, on the topic of that with your wife, it's like I've been to a few midnight orderings, but it's the ones that when I met my wife and she never touched WoW before, and I got her into WoW, and then she actually wanted to come along with me, and we went to the local like Future Shop or Best Buy here, and we were lining up, and she was like lining up with me, and we grabbed like a coffee and just, you're standing in line. It's like she could care less whether what we're doing, but just the fact that she was into the game enough to like come along and like both grabbed a copy of their game, and it was. And everybody's in line talking about we're Horde and we're Alliance, and just talking about which servers they're on, and just that was kind of cool.
Well, that is pretty cool. I mean, my wife didn't know anything about Grand Theft Auto at the time, so she's like, "What are you doing this game again?" I'm like, "Oh, you steal cars, you pick up women, you take them down the alley, and you screw them in the back." Like that's Grand Theft Auto, and she's like, "And why do you want this game?" I'm like, "Well, it's fun
because then you can run them over and get your money back."
Yeah, exactly. You don't want them to keep your money. So yeah, it was it was pretty funny. She's like, "What do you do in this game?" Shoot random people, run them over, steal their money. That kind of thing. She's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, those midnight releases are pretty cool.
Yeah, midnight releases. I do miss those.
They do those anymore? Like,
you know what? I'm sure they do. I think
things are just so digital now. It's like I can't even picture that anymore.
I know Best Buy here had advertised that they were doing a midnight release for something recently, but I can't remember what it was. I honestly can't remember. Like
especially for WoW, it's like, man, we literally get like almost our whole entire expansion. Like we get the patch like a month before, and then we get like all the data downloaded to our client launcher like a week before, and then it's like it's just a button that goes live. It's like, who wants to go and buy like a physical copy and come home and install these on discs?
I know, it's so old school.
Like 4 or 5 discs you've got to install like back in the day for things like.
Do you even have a CD-ROM on your computer anymore?
I do. When I ordered this computer, I was still working for this wrestling company, and I was still making DVDs for them. Yeah, so I specifically made sure I got a DVD burner in here so I could keep making copies, because I like would film and edit the footage and then pump out these DVDs for every show, right? So I kind of made sure I still have one.
I have one on mine. I don't know if it's seen very much use at all. I think it may have seen 1 or 2 DVD ROMs at some point.
Yeah,
but that's maybe about it.
If it wasn't for the wrestling, I I wouldn't have even got it.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have even bothered. So, because now it's like, you're building your own thing. It's like you don't even need it. When you're, like you go pick a computer from a place and it's like you have to add that in separate because they're just assuming you don't need it either. Like it almost doesn't come stock now like it used to. Like,
no, I think a lot of places have done away with them.
Yeah.
I mean, you can order them extra,
right?
Like you said,
it's just more like an optional option now. Like,
yeah. And I know a lot of laptops you have to buy it separate, and it's like it comes on like a dongle now.
Oh, really?
Like it's like a USB DVD drive that
that's
you'll get with a lot of laptops.
Is that
not the big gaming 17 inchers, but like I'm talking about like the little ultra books that you'll see on an airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Physical games, so 1990s. Gee.
Yeah. Hey, I honestly don't miss them. I don't miss having them get dirty, have them get borrowed, and nobody bring them back, and getting wrecked, or putting it in and having the error pop up saying your disk is dirty, please clean it.
Yeah, I don't miss them either.
Not
at all.
Blowing on the cartridge, shoving it in the Nintendo only 3/4 of the way, and then pushing down real hard.
Oh, the old school. Oh, you're going cartridge. Now, the cartridges were actually pretty good, though, for what they were. I mean, those things could take a beating.
I remember, though, it's like, we'd have to blow on that thing. And then, with the Nintendo specifically, the regular Nintendo, it's like, I find if you were to push the cartridge in, like, just about, 80-90% of the way in, and then push down, it works, like, 99% of the time. Instead of just pushing in all the way, you just kind of just leave it out a little bit and kind of like fits it in tighter. I don't know. So,
I've never tried that trick before.
Yeah, I talked to my mom a couple of weeks ago, and she was telling me about all these old VHS tapes for you kids out there. That's before DVDs. She found all these VHS tapes of like one of like me when I was like 5 or 6 years old, and she found she found the one of us the Christmas we got like our Nintendos and stuff, right? So we got like Nintendos and we got like this Elf doll, and so I was like, "Hey, do you still have the Nintendo anywhere?" And she hasn't got back to me yet to let me know if she found it or not. She found all these old VHSs, so I was hoping she found like my original Nintendo from back in the day. So
yeah, I think we've still got one. My wife actually, it's my wife's. I never had one when I was growing up, but
yeah,
my wife did, and she's got an old Atari. The old Atari there somewhere as well. She keeps asking me how to hook it up. I'm like, I don't think you can with because I think the Atari had like the old prong hookups where it would hook up where the antenna would go.
Yeah, go to a Goodwill and look for like an old tube TV, like old TV.
I don't know. I'm like, I sweetie, I don't know if I can hook that up, and even if I did, I don't know if you'd like what you saw. Not on the TVs these days. Yeah, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, you ready for some hot flashes, man?
Yeah, man. Let's lay it on me.
All right. So I got 5 of them for you tonight. Right. The first one. I don't know if we ever cleared up regarding our Canadian bacon discussion. So this question came up the other day.
Here comes another hour topic on Canadian bacon and pizza, pineapple pizzas.
So if you were to order ham on a pizza, what is it that you would actually get in Canada?
I don't know. Honestly, I hate ham. My wife tries to have it every now and then. It's like, oh, I can eat one piece of it. And I'm like, oh, remember you were making the ham last year? And I was like, oh my God, ham sucks. But see, you have different ham. You have like an actual ham where we have
we have like actual ham.
Right, where we have just these, I don't know. You have like the big hawk ham. We have just these small little, who I fucking know. It's just ham, but it's. I find there's no flavor to them. It's not that my wife's a bad cook. It's just these hams are just, I don't know.
I need to send you that recipe.
But anyways, when I order pizza and I do get ham, like on like a Hawaiian pizza or something, It's just these tiny little cubes, and it just honestly looks like the exact same ham my wife makes.
Yeah.
These small little like pinkish cubes. Is that what you get when you order ham on a pizza, or is it different?
Sometimes, like we ordered ham on a pizza the other day, and it came with like the little ham cubes, which surprised me because everywhere else you order ham, Canadian bacon.
Oh, so that's what they consider ham, Canadian bacon? Really?
Well, at a pizza place they do.
What?
Because it's like flat, kind of like pepperonis.
Yeah. See, now there's been a place where I've gotten ham, and it has came in more of a real thin pepperoni type texture, but except square instead of round.
Square.
Yeah.
Huh.
But now they called it ham though. They didn't call it bacon.
Where? I don't know what you guys.
I don't know about you guys down there and your pizzas, and us Canadians and our pizzas are like it seems like we're on different planets.
It really does, doesn't it? Every time I ask you a question, it's like 10 more pop up. It's like, what?
round ham? What?
You can't put square toppings on a round pizza, though. Everybody knows this.
That's pretty awkward.
It's sounds awkward.
All
right.
Two.
Name a game that you regret not finishing.
Oh God, you know how my track
That's a tough
record
one.
is. There's lots of
That's
them.
a tougher one. Yeah, but I mean, is there anything that pops in your mind that says, I really wanted to, or really should have finished that game?
The first thing that did pop into my head right away was Witcher 3.
Same here.
I enjoyed that first continent you were on. I was digging the story. I was digging the combat. I was digging everything about that game. But then when I lost my game save and I had to start from the beginning after like going around and finding all the like treasures and everything I could there, it totally took me out of it. And I was keep wanting to go back, and I keep regretting not going back. But I
totally understandable.
I enjoyed it so much, but
yeah, that's actually in my notes. That is the game that I had written down in my notes. No lie. Like Witcher 3.
It's such a good game.
Yeah, it's a fantastic
But
game.
there's so many other games out. Like, it's just...
I know.
Do you find that really hard? It's like, once you play a game and if you move on for any reason, you have a really hard time going back with so many other games that are coming out. It's really hard.
I've got a save on a Witcher 3. It's probably got 80 hours on it. Mm-hmm. There's no way I could just jump back into that save and continue. There's no way. First off, the controls. I'd have to re-familiarize with the controls. The story, I would have forgotten number of details with the story. I'd have to start over.
Oh, there's no way you would start over after that long.
Dude, that's...
Like, I only had to start over because I had no choice. But wouldn't you just rather go in and spend like a couple hours, getting used to the controls and just finding out where you are in the story?
I mean, I guess I could. I've never really tried it.
Yeah, I know, but instead of losing all that time?
It's just 80 hours. What else have I got to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's $5,500 or anything.
Right, exactly.
Jeez, 80 hours. That's like one night.
So on the flip side of that, is there a game that you've finished more than once?
Probably Final Fantasy 3 and Final Fantasy 7.
All right. Yeah, Final Fantasy 7 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 3 was fantastic.
Such a good game. Probably my top 3 games of all time.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. What was your favorite toy or gadget as a kid? And if you didn't have a favorite, which one do you remember the most?
I definitely remember getting like that small bucket of Lego growing up.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But nothing I remember more than my Nintendo, my regular Nintendo.
Okay.
I can remember like days upon days of like my brother going outside to play in the snow and me just sitting inside playing DuckTales and Mario and just you name it.
Mine was a speak and spell.
Speak and spell? What's that?
Yeah. I got, so the speak and spell that I got when I was really young, it was just it's like this red box with a keyboard on it, and it had a number of different little mini games that you could play, and it would basically just, it had this weird robotic voice and it would tell you, okay, spell the word whatever, right?
Mhm.
And you would spell it out. And I took that thing with me everywhere I went. Like, I think my parents regretted getting it for me, but I can spell pretty damn well.
Right.
All right. The last one, probably the toughest one of all. Pirates or ninjas?
Pirates, hands down.
What? No.
You name a famous ninja.
You can't
Other
name
than
a famous ninja because
other than
they're
ninja.
secret.
Other than ninja.
No, there are no famous ninjas because they don't want to be famous.
Well, I mean, we're talking about
Don't
like
ever see them coming.
Ninja Gaiden, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, you mean out of a game?
Beverly Hills
Okay.
Ninja.
Okay,
Three
out of a game, sure.
three ninjas strike back.
It's three, yeah. out of video games, those are all fictional ninjas.
Okay, well,
I'm talking about real ninjas.
Okay, well, name a fictional ninja. Name your favorite fictional ninja.
Probably Michelangelo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Don't say Naruto.
No, I've never watched Naruto.
Me neither.
No, definitely Michelangelo because he was like, even for a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle,
Yeah.
he was the weird one.
Yeah, Donatello was my guy.
Donatello, he was the smart one.
He was the tech guy. Yeah, he was a smart
Yeah,
guy.
I liked him.
He's all the gadgets. And
So you would really pick pirates over ninjas, though?
I do. I have a really big fascination with like Blackbeard and like like the One Piece universe and like Black Sails and like I really enjoy that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like dress up as a pirate or nothing, but
No. Yeah.
I
No, I get it.
definitely enjoy that kind of even that culture, like just watching Black Sails and stuff and just seeing how everything was then. It's like I don't know, I like that.
So the Assassin's Creed game that was what was it? Assassin's Creed 4?
Black Flag.
Black Flag. You did you enjoy that game at all?
I wouldn't touch an Assassin's Creed with a 10-foot pole.
Really?
Yeah, I find Assassin's Creed controls probably like I found Resident Evil controls for Resident Evil 1, those tank controls.
Oh yeah, the tank control. Yeah, I would say that Origins and Odyssey changed the control scheme
The new
quite
ones,
a
yeah.
bit.
Do you understand what I mean when I'm saying like the old Assassin's Creed where it's like you're running and you kind of have to stop and like get your momentum and then go the other way, like it's kind of that start and stop type thing?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking. It's kind of like Grand Theft Auto where you're like, if you're walking, you don't actually stop.
You have to stop, pivot, and then kind of turn the other way. Like it's
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
Since we're talking about pirates, let's give a little quick anime update here before we shut her down.
Before we sign off, well, I mean we're tracking on in One Piece and thoroughly enjoying it. We're at another lull in the story. I'll be honest. We're going through the Alabasta epic arc or whatever, and at this point they're basically in the middle of a desert. And they've been in the middle of this desert for a number of episodes, and
so it's just kind of dragging on a bit.
Yeah, they're dragging it on. I think they're almost where they need to be because they actually said so in this episode.
Yeah,
but the Grand Line is such a weird place, dude.
You think with it
awesome.
You think with a TV show having so many episodes that it kind of gives them a leeway to make certain episodes a little lackluster?
I don't know, man. No, I don't. Especially because the pacing for like the 50 or so episodes before this were so good that like I know they had filler episodes in there as well, but like they didn't have like 5 or 6 filler episodes back to back to back.
Right.
And we're at one of those points, and I even said to my wife, I'm like, they need to move on with this. I want, like, Luffy hasn't really even fought anything for the last 7 or 8 episodes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Luffy needs to fight something because that's kind of why I'm here. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
I want to see Zoro hasn't pulled out his I don't think he's pulled out a single sword
Let alone 3 swords.
Yeah. I don't think he's pulled out a single sword in like 6 or 7 episodes. I mean, it really is kind of, I don't know. It's dragging, but I mean, we'll make it through it. We're almost through it. We're on episode 90 something, almost 100.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, 700 to go.
700 more to go. It'll be. I'll end up giving you One Piece updates for the rest of this year. I can feel it coming.
Perfect. I'll be up with very soon. So I finished off all the episodes of Fairy Tail that were on Netflix.
Yeah.
So 40, 45, 50, whatever it was. I've finished them all now. It kind of came to a good stop. So I'm assuming maybe that was maybe all of season 1. Because the last episode was kind of like, seemed like it had a bit of an ending to it with a bit of a cliffhanger. So I'm assuming maybe that's kind of all they had picked up with season 1.
Gotcha.
But I still have a couple hundred to go, so I got to track those down. But I went back and started going back into One Piece again so I can get caught up to you and get to the Grand Line.
Yeah.
So I'm just...
How far... So where are you at?
So I'm still trucking through Arlong. It's like they're now there at the island Arlong Park, and they're looking for Nami, and she's so supposedly killed Usopp, and then he shows up, and they're like, "Oh, you're not dead. We heard you. Nami killed you." And he explains it. Oh no, she blah blah blah. That she faked it, whatever. And so now they're just Luffy just lies on the ground. He's like, "Okay, I'm having a nap." So
yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah, he's like, he doesn't give a shit what's going on. He just wants to get his navigator back. So
yeah.
Now they're just going through some of the backstory about she's like, Nami's sitting there over the treasure map now, so it's just kind of that shit there. So
okay, yeah, cool. So did you hear Nami's backstory? Did they go through that part with you?
I some of it I think.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, some of it. You probably have, yeah, I think they do it in basically 2 main parts. Kind of like how she grew up and why she's become a navigator, and then there's some other stuff in there too.
Yeah, I don't think I've got it all quite yet. So
yeah. No, I really like her backstory.
Pretty good. I don't know what the treasure map is for yet or nothing. So
oh yeah, you'll see. You'll see. You don't have that long to go. You just gotta, you gotta truck on through Arlong, and then there's another little sort of short story after that. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I'm gonna bust through. Like I got the next 2 days. I don't go back now till Monday night work, so I'm gonna bust through quite a few of those episodes now in the next couple of days while I'm just here chilling and doing stuff. So
nice. All right.
Yeah. Speaking of like One Piece episode or One Piece characters, do you know? Have you heard much about this Jump Force game?
Yeah, I've heard a little bit about it.
Kind of like Dragon Ball Z fighters, but
it's got a lot of my favorites in it. It's got L and Light from Death Note. It's got Luffy and I know Sanji.
Yeah,
Zoro. It's got a bunch of Dragon Ball Z characters.
Yeah,
I know they've got like Future Trunks in it. I don't know if they have Baby Trunks in it.
You lost me. I don't know those people.
I know that they've got Gotenks in it. I saw Gotenks, that's Trunks and Gohan combined into one person. Never mind if you don't.
Did they have a baby? What's going on here?
No, there's a fusion technique that they do in Dragon Ball Z. It's this weird dance, and then they touch fingers, and then they fuse into one Ultimate Fighter.
I'm only on episode 2 of Dragon Ball Fighter Z. So,
oh Lord, yeah,
forgive me.
You won't see any fusion until you meet Majin. Long ways away.
Well, there's a bunch of people running around in their pajamas. And something about over 9,000. So I'm lost with that show.
You have a while to go. Yeah.
So now there's 3 other characters from One Piece in that game. I was wondering if you know about. One is called Sabo.
Haven't met him yet.
Okay. Blackbeard.
heard of him.
Okay. So
And I've heard of Blackbeard and Whitebeard both.
So apparently Blackbeard is one of the only characters who has 2 devil fruits.
Yeah, you should stop talking right there. Speaking of Whitebeard, the voice actor that did Whitebeard passed away this week.
Oh. Japanese
the Japanese voice actor that did Whitebeard passed away this week. I caught that, I think, on Kotaku, and I'll have to pull up a reference for that. But yeah, he passed away, and they're not done yet, so I don't know what they're going to do for that voice. Actually, I don't know if at this point Whitebeard is even still a thing in One Piece. He probably is.
Maybe because you're so far behind, who knows, right?
Yeah.
And what about Boa Hancock?
No.
Okay.
Don't know about him.
Okay.
Nope.
Just some people, it says, like, it gives you a rough description there on the wiki I was reading about. Oh, they're part of Luffy's gang, or they're like, a hated villain or something. So I was just kind of curious if you had come across any of those names yet.
No. Well, Blackbeard, we've run across the name, just mentions of him.
Right. Just haven't seen him yet.
Yeah. I know that. Yeah, we've heard of Blackbeard on a number of occasions. Some are important to the story, and some might become important later. But
it's cool that game you get groups of 3, and you could be like Luffy, Sanjay, and Zoro. That'd be pretty badass.
Yeah, those are the guys. Actually, I'd have to look to see if they have Chopper in there, because I love Chopper.
Yeah,
Chopper's got to be my favorite.
It was just those 6 that I saw.
Oh, man. Chopper's my favorite. If Chopper's not in there, it's not worth buying.
Who's that? Is that the little tiny guy?
He's the little reindeer guy.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't. How long till I get to him?
You got a little while.
Ugh.
You got a little while.
I gotta hammer through some of these.
You got a little while, but Chopper is amazing. Chopper and I would say Karu. Karu's not like an actual member of the crew or anything, but Karu is like, you'll know him when you see him.
I always see that little reindeer dude on like the wallpapers I see online and pictures of like the cast, like just standing there, and it's like, yeah, he looks cool.
Chopper is awesome. That little top hat he's got, he's badass.
All right, man, let's wrap this up unless you got something else.
All right, man. It was fun as always.
Yeah, it was good, man. Hey, like I said, we're on episode 10 now. I thank you everybody for listening and downloading, and we're rocking on our downloads and listenings, and people need to hit up our emails and send us in questions and comments and corrections or whatever you got, so we can read some of those on air, and get some questions about anything. Ask us what our favorite pizza topping is. Oh, maybe not that. Maybe not that question. So, anyways, you can find the podcast on all your favorite podcast apps. Websites, Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify. Just open up your app. Click subscribe. You get us. You can follow the show on Twitter at TheDreadcast. You can also find it on Facebook.com/Dreadcast. You can find Joviah on Twitter and Twitch, both at Joviah. You can find myself on Twitter and Twitch at DreadnoughtX. Friday nights, go to the shit show. Jovi's there playing Jackbox, playing different games, maybe doing some soccer car. You name it.
Maybe some Twitch sings now.
Oh, yes. Yes.
We'll see.
Let's karaoke up in this bitch. Yes.
We will see.
I'm on my 4th drink here tonight. Let's go do it right now. All right. Let's get out of here, dude.
All right, man. Have a great one.
You have it too. Have a good one too, man.
All right.
Later.
I like playing Fortnite.
Yeah, what do you like about Fortnite? What's fun about Fortnite?
I like the crossbow because it not running a bullets.
Oh, do you get lots of kills with the crossbow?
No.
No, but you like it anyways?
Uh-huh.
What other games do you like playing?
I like playing my phone games.
Oh, your mobile games?
I like playing the Fortnite. I like playing the same Fortnite games on my phone.
Yeah.
They're like the same,
Mhm.
and I like about my all of my Fortnite games. I like the like.
You like battle royale games? You like games where you drop down, you find weapons, and then you gotta go around and find people?
Who?
You like those type of games? Yeah?
Yes, I like the kind of games.
Thank you for coming.
Take me to comment.